Welcome to The Explainer. If you felt like the digital ground beneath your feet has been completely shifting lately, well, you are definitely not imagining it. Today, we're unpacking 6 explosive, boundary-breaking shifts that hit the tech world on May 9th, 2026. We're going to look at a historic 24-hour period where massive corporations quietly rewrote the rules of the game. To make sense of all this, we're breaking this explainer down into 3 core areas. 1. The privacy crisis. 2. The entertainment evolution. And 3. Big tech's changing business. So, let's just get right into it. Section 1. The privacy crisis, focusing on Google and Meta's silent overreach. We're starting with what might be the most silent invasion of your personal hardware we've seen in years. Imagine just waking up and finding your laptop mysteriously missing 4 gigabytes of storage. No warning, no permission prompt. Well, that's exactly what's happening, because Google Chrome has been secretly downloading a massive AI model called Gemini Nano directly to users' hard drives. Google claims they want this for local cloud-free AI processing, for things like web page summarization. But if you're running low on space, this is a massive red flag. The security community is absolutely furious about this. Privacy advocate Alexander Hoff literally called it one of the most egregious examples of tech overreach in 2026. And here is the real kicker. If you actually track down this hidden opt guide on device model folder and delete it to get your hard drive space back, Chrome just automatically re-downloads it in the background. Like, no way, right? Google says it only downloads when hardware requirements are met to quote-unquote improve the user experience. But groups like the Electronic Frontier Foundation are warning that this sets a deeply dangerous precedent for who actually owns your device. So how do you take back your autonomy here? You've got a few options. You can hunt through your system folders to delete the file, or you can go in and type chrome/settings/AI into your address bar to disable the AI features entirely. Or, and this is what a lot of security experts are recommending right now, you can simply switch to privacy-first browsers like Firefox, Vivaldi, or Brave. Those actually respect your control right out of the box. Okay, let's move to our next privacy shocker. Back in 2023, Meta introduced end-to-end encryption for Instagram direct messages as an opt-in feature. It was a big step for privacy. But as of May 8th, 2026, it is entirely gone. Meta has completely yanked it. That means they now have full access to read your private text messages, view your sent images, and analyze all your voice notes. So why remove encryption entirely? Meta claims this is strictly to protect underage users and scan for illegal content, arguing that, hey, very few people opted into the feature anyway. But that raises a pretty massive question. Why eliminate the protection completely instead of, just making it the default setting for everyone? Well, experts suggest the real motives are a lot broader. Unencrypted private messages provide an absolutely unprecedented goldmine of conversational data to train Meta's AI models. When you combine that with ongoing government pressure for encryption backdoors, the massive potential for hyper-targeted advertising, and easier law enforcement cooperation, you've got a perfect storm. The ACLU is already stepping in to challenge this in court, so we'll see where this goes. Moving on to Section 2, the entertainment evolution, or the TikTokification of media. It seems like even Amazon Prime Video has surrendered to this trend. They've just replaced their traditional browse interface with a feature called Clips. Now, when you open the app, you are dropped straight into a vertical, swipeable feed of 30-second to 2-minute scenes stripped right out of their movies and TV series. It's essentially an algorithm-driven trap designed to hook you instantly and just keep you scrolling until your popcorn gets totally cold. And this brilliantly illustrates the danger that analysts are seeing right now. Dr. Sarah Chen, a media critic over at MIT, argues we are training an entire generation to have the attention span of a goldfish. When these platforms optimize purely for short-form addiction, creators are essentially forced to abandon deep, complex storytelling for superficial, quick-hit moments just to survive the algorithm. Meanwhile, the gaming world is facing its very own evolution. The highly anticipated survival game Subnautica 2 just introduced 4-player co-op, and it has completely divided the community. Supporters absolutely love the idea of social teamwork and building shared bases, but the critics? They are terrified of losing the game's famous sense of pants-wetting, terrifying isolation. It really shows how even deeply solitary entertainment is adapting to this modern demand for constant social connectivity. All right, Section 3, Big Tech's Changing Business, looking at pricing power and geopolitical alliances. In a truly unprecedented move, Nintendo just announced a massive global price hike for the Switch 2. The US market is seeing a $50 jump, pushing the console up to $500. And over in Japan, they are looking at a staggering 20% increase. That is huge. But what makes this completely bizarre is the timing. Usually hardware prices go up during severe shortages or right at launch. But Nintendo is raising prices despite having already sold 20 million units and having completely stabilized their supply chain. So why do this now? Officially, Nintendo is blaming memory shortages caused by massive global investments in AI data centers, which they say is putting pressure on their profitability. But industry analysts see this a bit differently. They view it as a highly risky corporate gamble to simply extract more profit per unit. Nintendo is really testing fan loyalty here, right as much more powerful competitors, like the rumored $550 Steam Deck 2, are entering the market. Over in the massive business of microchips, we just saw an absolute earthquake. Apple and Intel struck a historic preliminary agreement for Intel to manufacture Apple's future chips right here in America. This news sent Intel's stock skyrocketing by 14% in a single day. To put that into perspective, that's about a $30 billion jump in market cap. So why does this matter so much? Well, first, it acts as a massive lifeline that revives Intel's struggling foundry business. But more importantly, this whole deal is driven by pure geopolitics. Apple is actively diversifying its supply chain away from Taiwan's TSMC because of rising tensions in Asia, all while the US government is heavily subsidizing domestic manufacturing through the CHIPS Act. It is a perfect storm of business strategy and national security. Finally, Section 4, Conclusion, where we look at the common denominator of corporate power. So the crucial point here is to take a step back, look at all 6 of these disparate tech events from May 9th, and ask what exactly ties all of this together. The common denominator is unprecedented corporate power. Technology isn't just a neutral tool anymore. It's an active force shaping our boundaries, our privacy, our attention spans, and obviously our wallets. Whether it's Google secretly installing AI, Meta killing message encryption, Amazon changing how we watch movies, or Nintendo demanding more money for the exact same hardware, these giants are unilaterally prioritizing their business interests over your autonomy. With tech companies actively rewriting the rules of privacy, entertainment, and hardware overnight, the ultimate question is this: are we going to remain passive consumers, just blindly clicking accept on every single terms of service update? Or will we finally demand control and transparency over our digital lives? It's definitely a choice we all need to make. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.